So Metro app, tough Sudoku, 12th of October, 23, Thursday. So you want to be at the home, editions, which is down at the bottom, Thursday, October 12th, Sudoku 3. So I've got an 8 in that row, an 8 in this row, so this row needs an 8. There's a 9 in this row, a 9 in this row, so this row needs a 9. So 9 in this column, a 9 in this column, so this column needs a 9 and it's that one. There's a 9 in this row, a 9 in this row needs a 9 and it's that one. Because this column has a 9, this block has a 9, and this column has a 9, this block has a 9, so it's that one. And similarly, that's a 9. This row's got a 1. This row's got a 1. So this row needs a 1, so it's this one. So one of these is a 1, to get a 1 into that column. This column has got a 4, this column has got a 4, so that is going to be a 4 because this column needs a 4. One of these is a 4, to get a 4 into that row. One of these needs to be a 7, to get a 7 into that row. One of these can be a 2, to get a 2 into that row. One of these needs to be a 5, to get a 5 into that column. This is going to be a 6 because there's a 6 in this row, there's a 6 in that row, so that's got to be a 6. Give me a 5. One of those is going to be a 5 to get a 5 in that row. One of these is going to be a 2 to get a 2 into that column. That can't be a 9. That can't be a 9. That must be a 9. Okay. And then that means that that one must be a 1. Can't be an 8, because there's already an 8 in this column. So one of those is an 8. Okay. So you've got a triple here. So it must be 3, 7, 8. So that must actually be the 3. So that's a 3 in that column. There's a 3 in this column at the top there. So one of these must be a 3. So it's this one. Because there's a 5 in this column. So this column needs a 5. So it's one of those in this block. Which means that one of these is a 5. Now that's a double. So it leaves you with a triple, which is 5. One of them can be a 2. Not that one or that one. Not this one, because there's a 2 in this column. It's a 3, isn't it? 2, 3, 5. So that's a triple. 2, 3. Triple coming down here, which is 5, 7, 8. Triple across here. 1, 2, and 8. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 8. So in this row, it's only that one and that one that can be a 5, because we decided because those can't be 5. The 5 in this column is there. The 5 in this column is there. So we've got a quad here. 1, 2, 6. So one of these is a 6. That one can't be a 6. That one can't be a 6. 7 can be any of them at the moment in this row. 8. Okay. So 8. All getting very cluttered. So it's kind of okay putting in all the alternatives. We really must remove them as soon as they're redundant. Otherwise you get confused. Well, you've got a quad in this box, which is 1, 2, 8, and 3. 1, 2. Well, it can't be 2 down here. 3, 1, 3, 8. 1, 3, 8. So the 2 in this box and in this column's here, so that can't be a 2. Right, one thing I've spotted here, though, that can't be a 1, that can't be a 1, those can't be a 1, so it sets this as a 1. So one of these must be a 1. Oh, that can't be that one, because of the one in this already in this column. So that must be the 1. That's the 8. Here's the triple, which is 2, 2, 6, 7. That's 6, 7, because you've got a 7 in the 2 in the bottom block. Those can't be 6s. So one of these must be a 6, which means one of these must be a 6 to get 6 into that column. These must be a 3. I'll show you something here, because this bottom block has got a 5 and a 6 in, and this column has got a 5 and a 6 in, one at the top block, one at the bottom block. So this bottom block has got a 5 and a 6 in. So that means that this is a pair. Must be a 7 block. So one of these is an 8. Okay. 6, 8. No, yeah. So that could be 2, 3. You've got a triple in this column, which is 5, 7, 8. So one of these is a 7. Okay. So you're left with a 2 or a 3. 2, 3. Now one of these is a 6. So in this column, you're left with a quad arm. That could be a 4. Well, that could be a 4. Actually, if you think about it, those can't be a 4 and those can't be a 4, so that's definitely a 4. Which makes one of these a 4, because this row needs a 4. That can't be a 4 anymore. So one of these must be a 4. Okay. So what, I got this triple. Let's find something new to work on. So 1, 2, one of them must be a 2. So one of these must be a 2. That can't be a 2 because there's already a 2 in that block. 3, 4. Now there's something. So one of these has got to be a 4. Okay. That can't be a 2 or a 4. So that's whatever's left, which is a 5. 5. Now you've got this double here. Remember this double? So that must be a 5, and that's a 6. Can't be a 6. So that must be the 6. Can't be a 5 anymore. Does mean one of these is a 5, which means that can't be a 5. Okay, now you say those can't be a 5 because of the 5 in the bottom block. So one of these is a 5. This can't be a 5. So that must be the 5 in that row. So you want 6, 7, 8. That can't be a 4. That can't be a 4. That must be the 4. So one of these must be a 4. So it's that one. So that's not a 4. That can't be a 1. See, that can't be a 7, so one of these must be the 7 in that row. And because these can't be a 7 because of the 7 in the bottom, one of these must be a 7, which means that one of these is a 7 up here. Okay, now that's a 7 or 8, and that must also be a 7 or an 8. Now, you've got a 1 in this column, so those can't be 1s. That must be your 1, which means that's a 1 in that row. That must be your 7, so this isn't a 7. What's this triple? So you got 3, couldn't it? It could be 3. So 3, 5, 7. Now, in this column, I'll just notice this. You've got 3, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is a 5, 3, and it can't be a 7 and 8 because there's already a 7 and 8 in that row. That could be an 8. That could be no, that can't be an 8 because we've said this is a double. So that can't be an 8. So that 5, 3 and that 5, 3 is a double. So if that's a 7, 8, this must be a 7, 8. It can't be a 5 or a 3. So I'll get rid of the 5 or a 3. Except that it can't be an 8 because of that 8. So that's the 7. And that's the 8. Which means that that or that is an 8 in this column in this block. And you've got an 8, 3 here as a double really. That can't be. Okay, well that must be a 7 now. So that's not a 7, clearly. See, this row is complete apart from 3 and 7. That certainly can't be an 8 anymore. And this column needs a 7, okay. There's a 7 there, and there's a 7 in the bottom block. So this must be the 7. So that must be the 3. So that's not a 7. So you're left with a 2 or an 8. That can't be an 8. So that's a 2. That's an 8. So that must be a 3. So that can't be a 3. Clear up a bit. That can't be a 3. And you've got this double, this 3, 5. So that must be a 5. And that's the 3. Same here. That must be the 3 now. So that's not a 3. That's not a 3. So you want 2, 5, 8. And that can't be a 2, 5. And this is an 8, 3. Well, you've got a 3 in this block, and you've got a 3 in this block. So this must be the 3. That's the 8. Which means that's not an 8. And it can't be a 5 because of the 5 in this block. So that's a 2. So that's a 5. So that can't be a 2. It must be the 8. So the only thing left of the triple that I had remaining here is the 2. Okay. So we've still got this 7, 8. 4, 2, 2, 6. Now, that must be a 7 because there's already an 8 in this row. So that's a 7. That makes that a 7, 8. And that. So, and you need, so that makes a 7 to put a 7 into that column. Means that that can't be a 7. That can't be a 7. So I'm left with 6, 8. So it must be 6 and 8 because there's already an 8 in this row. That leaves you with a 2 in this column. So that must be a 2 and then a 4. So that must be a 2 and then a 6. And then you got 4 there, so that must be a 5. So that must be the 6 to complete the 6s in that row. And that must be the 4.